Hi, welcome to the Crypto Republic. Before we dive in, if you're serious about staying ahead in this once-in-a-lifetime financial shift, make sure you like this video, drop a comment, and subscribe to the Crypto Republic. The crypto market is buzzing right now. Prices have been swinging, fear and hype are colliding, and the headlines couldn't be louder. But behind all the noise, something far more important just happened. The SEC, yes, the same regulator that has been dragging its feet for years, just flipped the switch. And for XRP holders, this could be the turning point we've all been waiting for. Now, I'm not talking about short-term volatility. I'm not talking about a one-day green candle or a red flash crash. I'm talking about a structural regulatory shift, the kind of change that takes markets from sleepy consolidation to explosive growth. The SEC's move fundamentally alters the way crypto ETFs, specifically XRP, could be approved and launched. This is bigger than a headline. This is a trigger. So in today's video, we're going to break down exactly what this means. We'll look at the timeline of events compared to previous catalysts like the Bitcoin ETF approvals, analyze historical cycles, and explore why this moment could be the spark that ignites the next massive altcoin rally. If you hold XRP, or honestly, if you hold any altcoin, this is your wake-up call. Let's rewind for just a moment. The market recently tried to stage a recovery. Bitcoin briefly regained momentum. Ethereum bounced. XRP fought to hold support. But then, the rally faded. We've seen this pattern before. Waves of optimism followed by sharp pullbacks. Traders panic. Headlines scream doom. But long-term investors know these are just ripples in much larger tides. What really matters isn't the short-term chop. It's the catalyst. Think about it. In every bull cycle, it's the catalysts that drive the real moves. In 2017, ICOs lit the fire. In 2020, stimulus checks and the pandemic money printers sent Bitcoin and Ethereum to new heights. In 2023 and 2024, it was the banking crisis and ETF approvals that set Bitcoin above $100,000. And now, we're staring at a brand new catalyst, one that directly touches XRP. The SEC has streamlined the ETF approval process. The flip the switch means individual filings, those long 19B-4 forms that bog down every application, are no longer required. Instead, a generic standard now governs how ETFs can be listed. Translation in English: approvals can happen faster, smoother, and at any moment. To understand why this is massive, let's go back and look at Bitcoin's journey. In March 2023, when banks started collapsing, Bitcoin was under $30,000. Fear rippled throughout traditional finance, and suddenly Bitcoin looked like the safer alternative. Retail investors piled in. By the end of the year, Bitcoin was closing in on $50,000. That wasn't some random price action. That was a catalyst. Then came January 2024. Spot Bitcoin ETF approvals. The moment the SEC gave the green light, mainstream media exploded. CNBC ran Bitcoin segments every hour. Bloomberg plastered BTC across their covers. Institutional money, pension funds, hedge funds, family offices all had regular doorways into Bitcoin for the first time. Within 12 months, Bitcoin rocketed from $42,000 to over $100,000. This wasn't just hype. It was structural. ETFs created a bridge between traditional finance and crypto, just like the first gold ETFs did back in 2004. Remember, before GLD launched, gold was trading under 400 a troy ounce. After ETFs gave Wall Street easy exposure, gold rallied for nearly a decade, peaking at over 1,800 a troy ounce by 2011. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. Now, ETFs could do that for Bitcoin and for gold. Imagine what happens when XRP, with its focus on payments, banking integration, and liquidity, gets the same treatment. And it's not just Bitcoin. Ethereum has had its own catalyst. The ETF approvals in 2024 brought new inflows. Then in 2025, the conversation shifted to Ethereum treasuries. Institutional investors began accumulating Ethereum like corporations once hoarded Bitcoin. Suddenly, Ethereum wasn't just the second best crypto. It was a programmable settlement layer within Wall Street backing. Prices surged from under $1,500 to nearly $5,000. Again, the lesson's clear. Catalysts unlock capital. They turn potential into reality. And XRP is now on the edge of its biggest catalyst ever. So where does XRP fit into this? For years, XRP has been the underdog, tied up in lawsuits, labeled a security, Sideline like Bitcoin and Ethereum took the spotlight. But fast forward to today, and things look very different. Ripple beat the SEC in court. Clarity is here, and now ETFs are entering the conversation. Here's the kicker. ETF confidence for XRP is sky high. Analysts peg it at 90 to 99%. The SEC's new switch flip process essentially clears the runway. Instead of dragging applications through the months of red tape, approvals can come swiftly. We're talking about XRP ETFs, not in theory, but as a near-term reality. October looms large on the calendar. Historically, October has been a rough month for XRP, red candles more often than green. But as every investor knows, history is a guide, not a guarantee. 2017 saw a dull October, followed by a November surge and a December explosion. Could we be staring at the same setup again? Let's talk about the so-called October curse. 7 out of the last 12 Octobers have been closed red for XRP with an average drop of 4 to 5%. Not exactly inspiring. But markets love irony. Just when everyone expects doom, catalysts flip the script. If ETFs for altcoins, including XRP, are approved this October, the curse is broken. The setup is eerily similar to the gold market in the early 2000s. Traders dismissed gold as a dead asset. But once ETFs were approved, the narrative flipped instantly. What was boring became unstoppable. That's the potential for XRP. October might start slow, maybe even boring, but the deadlines are ticking. The switch is already flipped. It's just a matter of when the detonation happens. And don't forget the bigger picture, institutional flows. At a recent advisor webinar, over 50% of financial professionals said they plan to allocate new capital to crypto within 6 months. That number was unheard of just a few years ago. Normally only 5 to 10% were dabbling. Now half the room is ready to buy. Why? Because crypto is no longer fringe. Bitcoin ETFs prove the Wall Street can sell crypto exposure to everyday clients. Ethereum is joining the club, and now XRP could be next in line. The dam is breaking. The flood of capital is about to pour in. This is why the SEC's decision matters so much. It's not about a headline. It's about removing the final roadblock between XRP and mainstream adoption. So let's tie it all together. Bitcoin showed us what happens when catalysts align: institutional adoption, ETF approval, and mainstream spotlight. Ethereum reinforced the lesson. New catalysts equal new capital inflows, and now XRP is in the same position. The SEC has flipped the switch. The ETF approval process is streamlined. October deadlines are looming. Institutional demand is higher than ever. And XRP holders sit at the crossroads of what could be the biggest catalyst in the asset's history. Now, the question is simple. Are you ready? Because whether you believe in XRP's mission or not, the reality is that catalysts drive markets, and this catalyst is locked and loaded, aimed squarely at XRP. Over the next few weeks, we could witness a historic shift, the kind of shift that takes XRP from a sideline asset to a front-page headline. The SEC flipped the switch, the countdown has begun, and for XRP holders, the clock is ticking. So let me ask you, do you think the SEC's move is the game changer XRP needed, or just another head fake? Drop your thoughts in the comment below. If this opened your eyes, smash that like button, ring the bell, leave a comment with your thoughts, turn on notifications, and most importantly, subscribe to the Crypto Republic, bringing you the truth about XRP, global banking moves, and the wealth transfer already unfolding. Don't just watch history happen. Stay informed, stay ahead, stay in the Republic.